The fact that I reprove the concept of the pre-tribulation rapture puts me in conflict with many other Christians who place almost all of their faith in it because they do not want to undergo the trials and horrors of the Great Tribulation. However, I cannot in all good conscience remain silent about it, while it literally deceives tens of millions of people, because it tells them that they will be spared from evil. Jesus told his disciples in John 15:18-21, during the Last Supper, "If the world hates you, you know that it hated me before it hated you. If you were of the world would love its own. Yet because you are not of the world, but I chose you out of the world, therefore the world hates you. Remember the word that I said to you, a servant is not greater than his master. If they persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they kept my word, they will keep yours also. But all these things they will do to you for my name's sake." Jesus knew that his disciples, whom he gave authority to speak on his behalf, would be persecuted for not adhering to the evils of the world. If they were persecuted, they were not raptured. Jesus wanted to be raptured in the Garden of Gethsemane, but he knew that his Father's will had to be done. Mark 14:36. And he said, "Abba, Father, all things are possible for you. Take this cup away from me. Nevertheless, not what I will, but what you will." Many pre-tribulationists love to use the verse of Revelation 3:20. "Because you have kept my commandments, persevere and persevered, I will keep you from the hour of trial, which shall come upon the whole world, to test those who dwell on the earth." It is very comprehensible why this particular verse is used to reinforce the pre-tribulation rapture theory. But many people may misinterpret it. Revelations 3:20 mirrors John 17:15, when Jesus was in the Garden of Gethsemane. "I do not pray that you should take them out of the world, but that you should keep them from the evil one." And in the Lord's Prayer, the final verse is, "Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil." It is possible that Jesus could have meant that he would keep us from being tempted during the time of the Antichrist to receive the mark of the beast. It is also possible that he could have meant that we would not be judged during the final judgment, but that's not very likely, as we will all be judged. Revelations 20:12. "And I saw the dead, small and great, standing before God, and books were opened. And another book was opened, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged according to their works, by the things which were written in the books." Like the day of judgment, the timing of the rapture is open to speculation. And there is equal biblical evidence for for the post-tribulation and pre-tribulation rapture theories, with slightly more evidence for the post-tribulation rapture theory. Even if the pre-tribulation rapture is correct, Christians will still be severely persecuted. Since Jesus was crucified, the Church, which is Catholic, universal, and apostolic, ordained by God, has been persecuted for a variety of reasons. The 20th century was the bloodiest century in human history, and a large portion of the blood was Christian blood. And yet the Antichrist has not come, despite all of the tyrants that have come to power and fallen. When the Antichrist comes to power, such persecutions will increase in size and severity. 2 Timothy 3:13. But evil men and impostors will grow worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. Persecution of Christians has entered its early stages in first world nations, such as America, Britain, and Canada, in the forms of hate crimes legislations and moral compromise. In America, religious stances against homosexuality is protected by the First Amendment of the Constitution of the United States. But in other nations, it is punishable by job termination, fines, or incarceration. In the United Kingdom, churches must hire clergy who are members of the lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transsexual community, under penalty of law. In America, Christian companies and universities must provide contraceptives to students and employees, or they face a fine of $10 million a year in accordance with Obama's health care mandate. It is only a matter of time before more severe persecution of Christians take place, and Christians everywhere must prepare for them, regardless of the timing of the rapture.